Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. Buckle up. We're here with my January 2025 book haul. This you can see is a stack. Look how high that is. It's one of two. There's another stack that's just as high. So, January. I did have a number of books that have been pre-ordered or back-ordered in 2024 that showed up this month, so they're counted as this month. So there are some of those. I also bought too many books. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is. I just bought a lot of books and I need to get that under control because here I have 34 books to go through. So let's get started. I'm not going to go too deep into these because I have 34 books and you don't want to sit here for 2 hours. So I'm going to start with the 4 titles I have that I do not have physical copies of. They are all ebooks. The first one, well, the first 3 are the 3 volumes of the Arabian Nights. I am doing a very long group read of this. I didn't have them, but I got them all on Kobo. I like doing classics on Kobo because I have found frequently when you get classics in print, the print is quite small. So I just bypassed the print and went right to Kobo. So I have those 3. I have actually started, I'm filming this on the 31st of January. I just got the mail to make sure nothing else showed up. And I started just the first little bit last night of the first volume. So those are the first 3. And then I have, which I have finished, How We Learn to Be Brave, Decisive Moments in Life and Faith by Marian Edgar Buddy. This is Bishop Buddy who gave that sermon. And this is her book. I ordered a print version of this book. It was in stock when I ordered it. And when I went to check on it, it was back ordered. So when I was in Kobo getting the Arabian Nights, I said, let's just see. And I got the ebook version, which I did read. As I have said in a previous video, these books that are more spiritual in nature, I'm pulling out and doing separate reviews of under the title Books for the Spirit. So I haven't talked much about this. I will be doing a Books for the Spirit video on this one when my print copy comes in, because it's a lot easier to find passages and such on a print copy when I'm doing a video than it is to do it on Kobo. So those were the ones I don't have. Now let's get to the ones I do have. These I've kind of grouped. They're not in order that I got them. They aren't. I just tried to group them into a way that made sense. So the first book I have here is my aardvark book for January, which is After the Ocean. I have not yet had a chance to start this. This is a thriller, I believe, on Puerto Rico. I have every intention of reading this at some point in the near future. I've now gotten 2 books from Aardvark and have yet to read either one. However, the first one I am actually saving. That's Private Rights by Julia Armfield, and I'm saving that for when the Bard Room, my Shakespeare project, does King Lear. I'm going to read it along with that because it's a retelling of King Lear. So this is After the Ocean by Lauren E. Rico. I will have all these titles down below, but they're not going to be in the order I have them here. They'll be in the order I got them because I'm just taking them from a spreadsheet. It is what it is. You might just have to look. So now I have 2 books that I got from Book of the Month. I actually got 3 books from Book of the Month, but one I had already read, and that was Clytemnestra by Cassandra Casati, which I liked, and I wanted it for my keeper shelf. So that's not on here because I've already read it. But then I got her next book, Babylonia. And this is by Semiramis, who is a Babylonian something. Babylonian myth. I really like Clytemnestra, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Clytemnestra is actually the first of the Greek mythology retellings that I've read. So I went into it with limited knowledge, and I'm going in with even less knowledge for this one, and I kind of like that. So this was my choice. And then my add-on, besides Clytemnestra, was What Happened to the McCrays by Tracey Lange. I have read Tracey Lange's previous 2 books, which were We Are the Brennans and The Connollys of County Down, and really enjoyed both of them. The way I describe her is, if in the 90s, the filmmaker Ed Burns, who you don't hear that much about now, I'm sure he's still making movies, I just don't know. Ed Burns did a series of movies. He's an Irish American. ish. I mean, he's American, but of Irish descent. And he did a number of movies, just sort of like family life among Irish Americans in the 90s. These are very similar like that. These are all Irish American families having their things going on. I don't even know what this one's about, but I will read anything that Tracey Lange writes. So this was my add-on. Then I have a pre-order that came in from Blackwell's, and this is the fourth book in the Marlowe Murder Club series. This is Murder on the Marlowe Bell by Robert Thorogood. This is now a TV series. I still have to watch it. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it. I just don't feel like watching TV lately. So to get me to sit down to watch something, plus finding time when my husband or kids are not watching television is hard to do. But I am going to watch the series, which I think the series is just the first book right now. But this is the fourth book. I don't know what it's about. I don't care. I'm going to read it. I've really enjoyed this series. So Murder on Marlowe Bell. Okay, the next two books are Historathon books. I'll start with this one. This is one that I heard about from Mark at Book Time with Elvis. He's reading it, so I got this from Blackwell's as well. And this is, I'm hoping to read it for quarter one. If not, I'm going to hold it until quarter one of next year. But this is The Tribes of Britain, Who Are We, and Where Did We Come From by David Miles. This is just sort of a social history going way, way, way back of the inhabitants of the British Isles. And because it starts way back, I could probably count this for any quarter, but I'm going to use it for quarter one. I just don't know if it's going to be quarter one 2025 or quarter one 2026. We're just going to have to see how that works out, because I still have to read SPQR before I read this one. So probably I'll read SPQR and then see how much time I have left in the quarter, whether I want to start this or not. So, and then the second book is one that I found out when the author was interviewed on the podcast Gone Medieval, which is a history hit podcast. And this is Poet, Mystic, Widow, Wife, The Extraordinary Lives of Medieval Women by Hetta Howes. She covers 4 women. They are Marie de France, who is a poet, Julian of Norwich, who is an anchoress. Like, I studied her when I was in college. I think I wrote a paper on her. Christine de Pizan, who was a widow and a court writer. I don't know much about her. And Marjorie Kemp, a no good wife is what they call her in here, who I also wrote a paper on in college. So two old favorites and 2 newish to me people. I'm going to read this for quarter 2 of Historathon. And then I have a book that I had ordered in 2024 but was back ordered, and it just came in, and this is for Mariandria at Books and Bocadillo's book club, and this is The Invisible Life of Euridice Gusmao by Martha Batalha, and it is translated by, they don't always put the translators on the cover. I wish they would. It is translated by Eric M.B. Becker from, I believe, from the Portuguese. So this is a Brazilian novel. I can't remember when we're reading it this year, but we are reading it this year. So this is one that will be read by the next time when I do my January book haul revisit. This one will be read. It looks like a really fun cover, so I'm looking forward to that. I still have like a couple books for her project that I'm still waiting to come in that were back ordered, and one that wasn't back ordered but is coming out in paperback before we read it. So I just pre-ordered the paperback, but this was the next one. And then for a project I'm doing, which is Classics Catch Up, those are 6 classics novels that I feel like I should have read by now but haven't. And I really love the Penguin Classics Deluxe editions. So I picked up this edition of Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. It is translated by Lydia Davis. So this is the one that I am going to be reading. The print is not horribly small in this, so that's good. When am I reading this? I think this is like the March-April one. I have to check on that. But I'll be reading it in March or probably April, if it is March-April, because March is mostly going to be Bronte novels. So I'll probably be reading this one in April. And if anyone would like to join me on my Discord, there's a thread for it for discussion. And then one day when I went to the library to pick up something I had on hold, I made a little stop at the little library, Friends of the Library bookstore that they have. And I saw this. This is Akin by Emma Donoghue. I've really enjoyed Emma Donoghue in the past, and this is one that I've been wanting to read, and they had it, so I bought it. It's one that I don't own. I actually own a number of hers that I haven't read that I own on digitally, but this one was right there. And so I thought, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this. So I will be reading this at some point. I have not had a bad experience with Emma Donoghue, so I have high hopes for this. And then for some reason, I felt that I needed more Natalie Haynes books. I was reading at the time Divine Might. I have since finished it. So while I was at Blackwell's, I happened to go to see what I could find for hers. Now, I think all of these are available in the United States. However, I have often found that books are cheaper to buy them from Blackwell's and wait a little longer for shipping than it is to get them from the United States. So that's what I did. The first one is The Amber Fury. This is, I believe, called The Furies in the United States. So this is a novel, and it is a mythological retelling, but it's set in present day. It's basically, it looks like it's a dark academia novel, and it is, I'm not sure what it is, but it's a mythological retelling. If you hear music, my son, he's home from school today because it's the end of the semester. He's watching Pirates of the Caribbean. So I have this novel. And then I also have The Children of Jocasta. So this is about the children of Jocasta, but it's another novel of hers. So yeah, so I will be reading this at some point soon. And then finally, to kind of go along with this, which I was reading, Divine Might, I got Pandora's Jar. So Divine Might is about women in, Divine Might's about goddesses in Greek myth. Pandora's Jar is about women in Greek myth. And it is Pandora, Jocasta. So I may read this before, I don't know if I'm going to read it before or after I read The Daughters of Jocasta, but Pandora, Jocasta, Helen, Medusa, the Amazons, Clytemnestra, Euridice, that's a hard one to say, Phaedra, Medea, and Penelope. And just FYI, Natalie Haynes does have another novel coming out this year. It's called No Friend to This House, and it is a Medea retelling. So I have this one ready to go. And then a little bonus here. Let's see if I can find the book. I must have moved it. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I'm not prepared. I have a Book Club Magic subscription where they send me 2 used books. I tell them which genre I like, and I said I like mystery and I like historical fiction, and they send me just 2 used books off their shelves each month. And one of them, this is not part of this book haul, but I just want to share this. This is The Ninth Hour by Alice McDermott, and it's historical fiction. It was a finalist for the National Book Circuit Award and a finalist for the Kirkus Prize, and it's Irish. It deals with midwives and such. I was so excited to read this. I'm like, this sounds perfect. So I went to go log it in and I pulled it up on Goodreads, and I read this like 7 years ago. But I have no recollection of it. So this will be a reread, but I'm not counting it in this book haul. I also got Return to Trad Street by Karen White. And this is like a ghost story mystery. Now my question is, this is like number 4 in the series. Has anyone read this series? Is it one that I need to start from the beginning? So do I need to read 3 books before I read this one or not? Please let me know. I am not a monster. I prefer to read books from the start of the series, but there are always series where you can just jump in. So if anyone is familiar with this, please let me know. It honestly might make a difference of whether or not I keep this book, but we'll see. So I have this one from them. I have a couple other books that I got. I believe I got these when I ordered the Natalie Haynes books, but a couple other books from Blackwell's. I don't believe these are available in the United States, but I could be wrong. This first one is The Witchfinder's Assistant by Ruth Goldstraw, and this is during the English Civil War. So that's, I have a degree in British/medieval history, and I don't know that much about, I know about the Civil War, but as far as reading historical fiction, I have not read much historical fiction set during the English Civil War, and this one sounded really interesting. And then I have this one, which is Midnight in Vienna by Jane Thine, and this is set in September 1938 in Vienna, and it looks like it's a bit of a mystery. So we will see. Okay, so let me move on to this next pile. Hopefully those don't fall over on me. So here I have a number of books. So as you know, some of these are books that are kind of like series related. And as you know, I am reading one Agatha Christie a month in roughly publication order. And for some reason, I don't remember why, but I decided to order ahead of what I was going to be reading this year. So I have some more Agatha Christie's. These are not ones I'm going to get to this year. I believe I'll be getting to them in 2026. Again, why I ordered them, I don't remember why. I must have had a reason, but here's what they are. I'll go through them pretty quickly. We have Cat Among the Pigeons, which is a Perrault. Dead Man's Folly, which is also a Perrault. Oh, another Perrault. We have Taken at the Flood. This one I might be reading this year. I think one or two of these I might be reading this year. Another Perrault. Oh, we have a Miss Marple, 450 from Paddington. Ooh, another Perrault. Hickory Dickory Dock. And this one looks like it is a standalone, and this is They Came to Baghdad. So again, I think there might be one or two of those I'm reading this year. I'll have to check, but most of these are going to probably be read next year. And then, sorry. Here we go. Okay. Then another project I have going is my Shakespeare project, where I pull a little, I read 9 Shakespeare plays a year and pull it out of a tin and whatever. So the one that I am reading for February is Much Ado About Nothing. Now, it doesn't make sense shipping wise to just buy one book, so I decided to buy up through the Kings. Now I already have some of the Kings, so these are mostly the ones that I was missing. Let me put this here. Okay, so the first one is Henry VI Part 1. I did also order Henry VI Parts 2 and 3, but they are still back ordered. And then I have Henry VIII, not a super well-known play of his, but people know about Henry VIII. I have King John, the notorious King John. And then I do have one that is pretty well-known, which is King Lear. As I said, when this one comes up, I will also be reading Private Rights by Julia Armfield. And then finally, I might get this under 20 minutes. I'm going through this quickly, I know, but there's so many. Another series, and I had the first 2 books of them. I haven't read them yet, but I have them. But I decided that even without reading them, this is a series that I want on my shelves. And this is the 6 Tudor Queens series by Alison Weir. I already have the books for Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn. So I have Jane Seymour by Alison Weir. I will spare you all. I will not sing the music from 6 as I go through this. I may sing the music from 6 when I actually read these, but I have Jane Seymour, The Haunted Wife. Anna of Cleve, The Princess in the Portrait. And I do like that she uses the authentic spelling. So this is Anna of Cleve instead of Anne of Cleves. We have Catherine Howard, The Scandalous Queen. And Catherine Parr, The Sixth Wife. So I now have this entire series. I just need to read it. So there you go. That was 34 books, but only 33 are going to count for I'm only putting 33 on my TBR because I already read one of them. How We Learn to Be Brave doesn't go into my TBR carryover. However, next year when I do my TBR revisit, I will touch on that one. And then you won't see it again after that. But that was my January. I do have some pre-orders. Let me look at my pre-orders here really quickly. I have 4 pre-orders expected in February. The first is I have Kindle single of The Bookstore Keepers by Alice Hoffman. That will be read almost immediately upon receiving it. That's like the third in a little bookstore trilogy she has going. And then I have from Blackwell's, I have the first book in Ellie Griffith's new series called The Frozen People. This book is going to be released in the United States, but much later. And, it's cheaper anyway to get it through Blackwell. So there I did. I have one that you may see in the Books for the Spirit series, which is God Didn't Make Us to Hate Us, 40 Devotions to Liberate Your Faith from Fear and Reconnect with Joy by the Reverend Lizzie McManus Dale. So Lizzie McManus Dale is known as the bedazzled priest. She is an Episcopal priest. She likes to bedazzle her robes. She has planted a church in Austin, Texas, and it really caters towards a younger congregation and is very LGBTQ affirming, but she is very prolific on social media, which is how I first found out about her. She is a complete joy. She does have a podcast with another priest, Reverend Laura. It's called And Also With You. But anyway, I got her book because I wanted to support her. And then finally, I have another Historathon book. It's called Hunting the Falcon, Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn, and the Marriage That Shook Europe by, I gotta look at the title here, John Guy and Julia Fox. This is coming out on February 18th, the same day as Reverend Lizzie's book. So it's about Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. That should be pretty clear. But those are pre-orders that are coming. And then I still have, how many books do I have on back order? I have 5 books currently on back order, 2 of which are for Mariandria's group. I haven't read the 6 parts 2 and 3. And then hopefully I will get this one before March. I have a biography of Anne Bronte called In Search of Anne Bronte by Nick Holland. So beyond all that, I'm really hoping to curb the buying in February. There will be some new books. I will get an Aardbart book. I have already ordered my book of the month book. At some point I am taking a friend to Powell's. I'm her, and I can't go to Powell's without buying a book. Not the downtown Powell's, although I'm probably going to that tomorrow as I film this because Bookish Best Friend and I are going to go see a play. So we will probably stop at Powell's. But do not expect this many books in February. Anyhow, there you go. Those are my books that I brought in this month. And hopefully when I do my revisit, there will be fewer of them. Like, subscribe, tell me any thoughts you have about these books in the comments below. Join my Discord. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.